What's up, everybody? Welcome to Scofie Sessions, my shameless excuse to hang out with peers in the industry, friends of mine, subject matter experts, and folks I just find plain fascinating. My name is Jonathan Schofield. My friends call me Scofie, and we're so glad that you're here. If you accepted the invitation to join this, then you already probably know what we're talking about today and who our guests are. But if you happen to be casually scrolling LinkedIn or YouTube and you stumbled in, we're glad you're here too. So don't be shy. Say hi in the chat. And we are glad that you're here. So today we have two special guests. We have Jared Kastner and Mike Zabarski of Blacksmith InfoSec. I'll give them an opportunity to introduce themselves in a little more detail here in a moment. But if you're here today for about the next 25 to 30 minutes while we hang out, we're going to be discussing debunking the MSP busy badge. Finding freedom in your focus. So who is this for? If you are an IT service provider, MSP, you are a thought leader or vendor or industry professional in the IT services space, you will probably get tremendous benefit from this conversation. And we hope you hang out, or if you're just curious. Today's also a little special in that Blacksmith InfoSec and findmyitpartner.com, aka Scofie, we are both contestants in the annual IT Nation Pitch It competition. So Jared and Mike are both the second, actually, fellow contestant that I brought on the podcast, and we are so glad that you are here. So many words out of my face, and we're already 2 minutes in, and our guests have said nothing. So Jared, Mike, so glad that you are here. I'm going to call on Mike first. Say hi to everybody, and let us know a little bit about who you are and what you think of all this.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. Mike Zabarski. I fell into cybersecurity through a whole litany of poor life choices, and basically compliance, VSSO, and dad, running around with two teenagers, doing whatever they need to do. So.
Fantastic. I definitely want to pull on that poor life choices thread if we get the opportunity, because there's stories I sense below the surface. So glad that you're here, Mike. Jared, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi there. Thanks for having us on. I'm Jared. Mike and I have known each other for, 30 some years now. So that was our first poor life choice, was becoming friends with each other in the first place. And then the rest has sort of taken a downward spiral ever since. And so here we are today. We started Blacksmith about 2 years ago, really as kind of the culmination of those poor life choices of building off of all the experiences that we've had professionally and personally in terms of security and software and everything else. So it's been a fun ride.
Fantastic. So glad you both are here. I have to ask, Jared, what does your shirt say? All I see is good security. It's like an onion. It has layers. Oh, yeah, I love that.
So Scopie and I were talking before we went live that he and I are girl dads. Mike's got a couple of kids, or I guess a throuple of kids. I don't know how you want to call it.
I wouldn't call it a throuple, Jared.
If we're going to make jokes, though, we got to make jokes. And so there's a reference where
a throuple of kids. You heard it here first.
He's got a throuple of kids. You guys can all read into that what you will.
All fathers on this call. That's cool. So we got that in common. 4 minutes into our time together, I want to talk about Pitch It. So you guys, you applied to participate in the Pitch It competition, as did we. You got accepted. We're about, I don't know how many weeks it's been, several weeks into our cohort meetings and sessions and learning and collaborating, and that's been really interesting. I'll definitely want to get your take on all of that. But for those of you who don't know, Pitch It is an annual competition hosted by ConnectWise, the IT Nation, and it's for startup founders and folks that are, trying to take their venture into the IT services space to gain insight, knowledge, feedback, experience, exposure, and have a shot at some prize money and some clout that comes with winning or placing in the top 3 later on at IT Nation Connect later this year. So tell us briefly, Jared, Mike, what was appealing about applying to Pitch It, about participating in it? What are you hoping to gain out of it? What has the experience been so far? And where do you hope it takes you?
Yeah, I mean, we applied just to spend more time with Lardo, and then we realized we were going to have to spend more time with Lardo, and said, no, I'm just kidding.
Sean, we love you. We actually contrived a really great rumor that we're going to start spreading on this call. So stay tuned for that, Sean.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just to hang out with Sean, and it just snowballed into this.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not a rumor if it's true. So, but no, it's, look, we are new to the channel. We joined or entered the channel sort of by accident about 1.5 years ago, and realized that we had come home and like found our happy place. And so for us, moving into Pitch It or applying to Pitch It and fortunately getting into Pitch It was a really good. I mean, it's been a huge for us. A lot of what the content has been sales and marketing focused, and my background is in software development. Mike's background is in IT and cybersecurity. Neither one of us can spell sales and marketing on the best of days. And so trying to figure out how to do the sales and marketing aspect of running a business has been really entertaining for us. But all the content that's come along with Pitch It has been super valuable for us as far as, and then we get to know, we had met you last year at ChannelCon, maybe right before that even, but it's getting to know you better through this. It's this weird thing also where we're friends, we're fellow contestants, we're quasi competitors. We're not competing, but we're competing for prize money at the end. And so we're rooting each other on, but like, I also don't want you to do that well, because I want to beat you, man.
Heck yeah. Oh no. So that sentiment is, there's an interesting dynamic at play with a lot of the people that are participating in the competition. And I definitely sense it, not just, in this particular group, but across the competitors. We're all kind of in similar boats and very, similar stages in our ventures, I guess. And so there's a positive enthusiasm that comes with that, and a camaraderie that comes with that. And so that's been really interesting to explore. And some of the relationships, you're supporting each other. Sure, we're competing to a degree, but we all want to see each other do well, I think, in the long run, even outside of the realm of Pitch It. So Jared, you've talked too much about your experience. I want to hear from Mike now, so shut up for a second.
So a lot of what Jared said really echoes, right? Just meeting people, getting to know people we already knew even better. I think the other piece that I would bring up, not just the competition with Pitch It, but really just the MSP channel vendor space in general. There's a lot of co-opetition where like even vendors that we directly compete with, like we're always like, we've approached the solving for stuff differently. And so sometimes they're going to be a better fit. Sometimes we're going to be a better fit. And so it's always nice to say, hey, you know what? Like, we're not a good fit. Go talk to this other vendor because they're doing this exactly how you want to approach this, right? So there's just a lot of general co-opetition within the channel vendor space as well, which has been awesome.
Love it. Yeah. I mean, the one thing that you learn being in the channel for not too terribly long is that there's a pretty tight-knit community that you're trying to get into and bring value to. And there's definitely a right way, I think, to approach that community and to integrate yourself into that community. And there's definitely a wrong way as well. So Pitch It for us at findmyitpartner.com has been a good reminder of a lot of that. And also, like way to sit at the feet of those who've gone before us and have done it a little bit. And, and it's not like everything, there's no like proven blueprint that, is step by step. I think each of us have our own journeys of discovery for, this course we find ourselves on, but there's so much to be absorbed and learned, and working together gets us, I think it's like throwing gas on the fire. Like you could go reinvent the wheel, but there's people around us who have had success and who are creating a lot of value and contributing to this community, and it's lifting everybody up. Why would you not participate in that? So it's been really great for us as well in that sense, for sure. All right, we are it's already 1:40 Eastern Standard Time, and we haven't gone into our topic yet, so I want to. Now, Mike and I had a conversation weeks ago about, man, if we were to have this conversation today, What's the thing that Jared and Mike are equally passionate about? We've got some deep insight on. And I would say, like, the way I always ask this question to my guests is like, man, if I had a TED Talk lined up in the other room and 5 minutes before we were supposed to have our special guest come out, he canceled on me and I had to tap Mike or Jared, what would you choose to talk about? And Mike volunteered for Jared, because he wasn't in that meeting, this idea of focus. And debunking the MSP busy badge was my way of making that idea sound maybe a little sexy for everybody. But focus and MSPs, if you're an IT provider, you know, you wear lots of hats. Your calendar probably looks like mine or worse. And you're looped in 6 ways from Sunday to everything. And it's really easy, I believe, to wear that, you know, that wear your calendar like a badge. It's like, oh man, look how busy I am. Look how, you know, I must be successful because everyone wants to talk to me. But that doesn't last very long before you realize, man, I am way too poor to be this busy or way too broke to, or my MSP, my IT business is not nearly as successful as it should be if I'm going to be working as hard as I am. So that's what I took away from our conversation, Mike, is like, you know, this is the challenge I think a lot of IT providers are facing right now. Mike, why did you choose this? What was the thing? And let's start running down that rabbit trail and get on some soapboxes together.
Excellent. Love soapboxes. No, so I think the reality of it is just because people are in their IT and they want to be helpful, they want to fix things. Like, that is kind of ingrained into IT professionals' DNA. Like, I want to help, I want to fix things. I can't hear about a problem and not be like, cool, let's fix this. What I've seen over and over in my career is IT people tend to put on the Superman cape, as I like to call it, and never take it off. And then they end up getting burnt out over and over and over. And whether it's IT or cybersecurity, it's always the same thing. And a lot of it has to do with just finding that kind of work-life balance to figure out, hey, how do I maintain my home relationship? How do I maintain a relationship with, you know, wife, kids, etc.? Stay sane, which, you know, in Jared, in my case, it's long gone. But other people,
you can't stay sane, Mike. You were never sane to begin with.
But there's hope for others. And it's really finding that balance. And you know, I'm gonna actually toss this over to Jared, if you don't mind, because he has a saying from startup land, because he advises startups, and startups have the same kind of issue, right? Everyone's trying to do everything at the same time, and so Jared, I'll just toss it to you mid-sentence. Let's see if you can pick up what I'm putting down.
Yeah, there are a few different things that I talk about, right? So, you know, I've been running software engineering teams for the last, 15, 20 years now. And I like to talk about, in a few different ways, saying the same thing, which is minimize the work in progress, focus on finishing, not starting, pull from the right. All these things mean the same thing to me. And what I'm talking about with those things is, if we are constantly working on picking up a new task as we get started, instead of getting things to completion, we might pick up 5 tasks on Monday and all 5 of them get finished on Friday. But if we instead are focused on, all right, I'm going to pick something up on Monday and finish it, and then pick something up on Tuesday and finish it, and pick it, right? I get the same 5 tasks done over the course of the week. But how much happier are my customers if I have been solving and unblocking things along the way?
Right.
And so it's that finding that focus and actually getting something complete and checking that item off of your to-do list so that you can actually move on with your life and be a lot more valuable. So that's one of the areas that I talk about with startups that I advise. The second one is, if you show me your budget, I'll show you your priorities, right? And so if you're not spending money on things, if you're not where you're spending your money, that's where your focus should be, because that's where you're actually invested as a business and where you're going, and making sure that you are driving the ship the right way. And then the second thing is, or the third thing, sorry, is find that North Star and make sure everybody's aligned at that North Star. Right? That way, when your engineers, when your technicians, when your staff, when your salespeople, when they all understand where you're going, they know how is going to change over time. The tactics might change from day to day, but they all are rowing in the same direction, and you're going to get there much faster if everybody understands where you're going and more importantly, when you're going to get there, right? I've seen this over and over again where the CEO paints this like beautiful picture, and everybody says, wow, that's great. But they don't tell you whether that's supposed to be 6 months from now or 6 years from now. And so if you have a different time horizon in mind, guess what? You're going to have one group of people that's charging as if it's 6 months from now, and they're going to be killing themselves, to Mike's point of like not finding the work-life balance. And another group of people that thinks it's 6 years from now, and they're plotting and they're doing things, they're going to get there, but it's right. So you have to make sure you have that time horizon in place as well. And Mike, I probably all three of those might have missed completely. Yeah. So what did you have in mind? What were you looking for?
Yeah, no. So I was actually going for your thing about lack of focus, and that a lot of startups lack that focus, and they are constantly trying to do everything, and don't have that. Yeah.
Well, I think that really ties in. Right. That really ties into your first one there, Jared. You were saying, focusing on a task until completion before bringing on more tasks. I love your three. So your first one about focus, your second, show me what you're spending your money on. Your third, making sure your North Star is crystal clear. If I were to make a change to your three, I wouldn't actually change them at all. I would just maybe reorganize them. And I think your North Star is critical, because I have this conversation with folks all the time, when they come to me with their idea for a venture, for their business, or their challenges that they're facing in their MSP, their IT business, etc. Or if you're a vendor, I don't care who you are. What does success look like? And that's very important for the CEO, the owner, the founder to have very clearly defined. Because if you are going to be a leader and people are going to follow you, your employees, your customers, etc., they need to know. They need to be able to look at what's around them and say, hey, are we being successful? Is this what success looks like? If you just have a generic no North Star, it's like, we exist to provide IT services to this geolocation. Okay, well, I guess we are doing that. So I guess we're successful. So, but that's not a thing to pursue. That's not a destination to go to. It's just a thing you are. So what if without the North Star, you're just kind of pissing in the wind constantly and hoping for the best? Like, are we successful this month, or were we a failure this month? We don't know, because we have nothing to measure those focused activities, or activities, whether they're focused or not, against. So I agree with you so very much. And the only thing I would change is the order in which you do it. Where you spend your money is 100% a revealer of priorities. So if you feel like you're not sure what's most important to you, that's a really great exercise, sanity check for you to go and look at, now, so I'm going to make a shameless kind of, I guess this is a bit of a self-serving comment here. A lot of IT providers spend significant dollars on sales and marketing stuff. They spend the money, yet they do not bring in sales. So there could be, just because you spend money spent is an indication of priority, but it is not necessarily an indication of success. It's possible to spend dollars poorly, to spend dollars inefficiently, right? But I think I agree with you, Jared. It does tell you the priorities. It's like, man, I keep trying out all of these outsourced vendors for sales, for marketing, or maybe it's for pen testing, or for MSSP services, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm not getting the results that I want. I'm not getting the things. So it does indicate to you as the business owner, I didn't realize that was as important to me as it is. I keep lighting all this cash on fire. It's not giving me the impact or results that I want, but it's clearly important to me. So maybe I need to go back to the drawing board of how I'm using those dollars, et cetera, et cetera. And then finally, focusing on, things. Now, if you've got your North Star and you've identified your priorities by, where you're spending those dollars, now the bits and bytes, the things you're going to occupy your day with to complete projects, you got purpose for it, the priority of it. And now when you allocate focus to a project, you know the why. And it's going to be so empowering for you. Be like, okay, this thing that was otherwise, or like, I'm not sure if I should give it the attention it needs versus this other thing that's distracting me. I know where it fits into the ecosystem of where I'm supposed to be headed towards. I took all of that from your 3, Jared.
There you go. So one thing that you touched on, Scopy, that is really important is you can't improve what you can't measure. So when you're talking about how do you know whether you're lighting your sales dollars on fire, right? If you're spending a lot of money on sales, how do you know whether those dollars are effective? You have to be able to measure the output. Sales is a little bit easy because you can track revenue. There are other things that maybe are a little bit harder. And so spending the time to figure out what metrics you're going to be measuring, and they might not be perfect metrics, right? You might look at it, I want to see my customer satisfaction scores improve. And so the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to look at how long it takes for us to close tickets. And I'm going to look at some proxy metrics that I can get a little bit faster indication of whether my customers are going to be happy. But if you don't look at those metrics and figure out not just where you are today, but where you want to go and set milestones or metrics for where you want to go, you're doing yourself a disservice. Sure. And this is, again, whether you're using KPIs, OKRs, rocks in the EOS world, whatever it is that you're using, they need to be smart, meaning specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, and time bound. So you need to know what you're doing, when you're going to do it, what the change is going to look like. Is it going up? Is it going down? Is it good? What is good? When you miss your goals, that sucks. You demoralize your people. If you are setting the goal of 1 and you get to 10, you're maybe not doing yourselves a real service either, because you haven't made it aggressive enough, right? So it's got to be challenging, but it's also got to be attainable. So you're pushing yourself to get there. It can't be easy to get to, but if you're missing every single one of them, you're not being realistic with it, and you need to be driving that a little bit differently. Mike, what have I missed here?
No, it's I don't know why I'm still surprised when I realized you and I share a brain, because the whole measurable goal thing was, I was about to say it, and then you're like, oh, let me say that.
Right.
Let's go be teed up for it.
That is, again, within the IT world, right? Measuring your goals, measuring, close tickets, time to close, etc. All of that allows you to make it so that you can build a repeatable process. And so that you're not having to constantly wear that Superman cape and have your techs check out at 5:30 or whatever, and actually go home, spend time with their families. And yeah, there's going to be times where stuff blows up and you're going to have to take that Superman cape out of the closet and toss it on, but you can't wear it 24/7.
That's right. That's right.
You got to have gas still in the tank when things blow up, because they will, right? Whether it's one of your third-party vendors that has had a security incident, or one of your clients has had a security incident, or you having a security incident, or a flood in Texas or whatever, right? There are things that go on that in our lives that we can't control. Some things we can control that we don't control well enough, and that creates our own issues. That's right. But there are things that we can control, things we can't control. And when those things go wrong, you have to have gas in the tank to be able to overcome those issues.
So we're going to pause here for a second because we're not done with this, but we will be wrapping up here shortly. If you are joining us live or watching the recording back later, I promise we monitor these comments and whatnot. You have the experts online right now and at your disposal. So feel free to pop in if this resonates with you in any capacity, or maybe you disagree, or maybe you have a hot take that you'd like to share. Pop it in the comments, or if you want to hop on screen with the three of us, and we'll give you 30 seconds to share your perspective on something. We would covet the opportunity to get your feedback and insight on all of this. But also, you've got some experts online here that you can pick our brains. So as we kind of transition and close out this topic a little bit, we've talked about some good, I think, overarching principles that an IT provider, business owner, founder, leader could potentially take away and start to incorporate into their world. But I want to spend a moment sitting the status quo and what I suspect, if I'm a busy MSP whose calendar looks like a nightmare, and I'm hearing all of these, oh, that sounds really great to hear you say that, Jared, to hear you say that, Mike, but the reality is X. I think the status quo for these people looks like I am the guy in my business who's responsible for all the things. So I'm not even sure where to start establishing my North Star, understanding my priorities, and giving focus the way that it needs to. So what I want to hear from either or both of you is, what is something highly practical, highly tactical that an MSP business owner could take away this afternoon and start doing if they are in that train wreck of putting out fires, being spread 6 ways from Sunday, and have no focus or direction? What is the first thing they should do?
Take a timeout. Right? And it sounds totally counterintuitive. I totally get that, but take a timeout. If you're a sole practitioner, if you're the sole owner and you don't have the budget for a coach, that's fine. Sit down for an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours with your spouse, with your kids, with a friend over a beer, whatever it is. Sit down and start to map that stuff out, because I guarantee you those will be hours well spent. So that's the first thing, is take that time out and really stop and focus. Mike and I just did our quarterly planning yesterday with our team, and the amount, it was a painful 4 hours to go through that, right? Because like being on a 4-hour Zoom call, I'm in San Francisco, Mike's in DC, we had somebody in St. Louis, we had somebody in Florida, we had people all over the place. Finding the time where everybody's online and focus for 4 hours is hard work, but it is so valuable. We came away from it saying, oh my God, first of all, we realized not much had changed from when we started the business 2 years ago, which is great. But we were able to articulate it way more clearly now than we were 2 years ago when we started the business. And it really helps make sure everybody's aligned on where we're going. And so focusing that time, taking that time out is hugely valuable to you as a business. I'm happy to jump on the phone with anybody who wants to talk about this stuff. This is a free service to the world. Like if you want to jump on the phone and talk through your North Star, your metrics, whatever, I'm happy to jump on. So please, like, feel free to reach out. Like this is something I would love to do. I love talking about this stuff. Mike knows I get on my soapbox frequently. I will happily bang the drum. So please take me up on the offer.
Absolutely. And if you're watching this, you absolutely should take Jared up on that offer. That is an incredibly valuable offer that most people would charge you quite a lot for, to sit down and kind of help you look under the hood and give you some really practical advice. And I know Mike and myself would potentially offer similar, if you want to pick our brains for whatever reason, please don't be shy. The thing I was going to say is very similar to yours, Jared. So you said take a time out. I agree with that 100%. You got to step away from the chaos to quiet your mind and really do some soul searching. That is great for the North Star clarity that you're going to need to build and facilitate. Now, something else that you should probably be thinking about is what happens. So let's say you do like a company offsite, or you take a couple of days off, or just over the weekend, you go for a hike in the woods and you write in a journal and you figure all this stuff out. And you start, you will walk back on Monday into the chaos again. Right. And I was like, yeah, great thoughts. I wrote them all down. Now it's Monday and I've got the same craziness that I had on Friday. So my answer is similar to Jared's in that it is related to time. I think as a business leader, it is very important to protect your calendar. So what I mean by that is you should be portioning off, chunks of your schedule that are made for you for this. And you have to treat that time as sacred. And what I mean by that is you're going to have customers ask you for stuff, and you're going to have employees ask you for stuff, and you're going to have, things outside of work that are going to attempt to encroach on that time. But you need to carve it out. For me, there's a couple different spots in my calendar on recurring basis that I am not allowed to bring things in. And people on my team will call me out when they see I've tried. Hey, Jonathan, aren't you supposed to be doing other things right now? They'll see it on my calendar. I'm like, yes. That's another piece of be very helpful. Accountability. Have somebody, yeah, someone who's going to hold you to the fire if those things that you said were sacred are somehow being diluted. All right, we are technically out of time, and there's still like 3 things I want to do. So if you've gotten value out of this conversation, debunking the MSP busy badge, let us know. We appreciate you, and hopefully you've gotten some tactical, practical advice out of this. Okay, now, fellow MSP, pitch it, contestant, Blacksmith InfoSec, I'd love for you, just as like a warm-up practice pitch, and with less than 5 minutes, so take maybe 1 to 2 minutes to give us the elevator. Who is Blacksmith InfoSec? What do you do? Why should IT providers care? And then finally, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you? And then I'll go last.
Cool. So Blacksmith InfoSec is a compliance as a service platform that enables you to provide a rigorous security program for your clients to get them to whatever compliance needs they need, or just prepare them for future compliance needs if you just need a base framework to align them to. You can go to our website, blacksmithinfosec.com. There's a link to schedule a demo, hop on, chat with us, and I think that's under 30 seconds. Nailed it.
Yeah, you did. What's interesting in my world, I spend a lot of my time helping IT providers get connected to their next customer, and in what I'm running into, or have been for the last 24 months that we've been doing this, is compliance is driving a lot of the top of funnel conversations, particularly in manufacturing and healthcare, et cetera, et cetera. And from my understanding there's a massive chunk of the IT services market that isn't ready for those conversations with their customers. They don't have good answers, or the answers they have are not satisfactory to the customer. And there's opportunities that are being lost, and worse, customers being underserved, causing friction for you, the provider. So I am highly recommend that you guys reach out to Jared and Mike and the Blacksmith InfoSec team. And without giving my pitch, I kind of already did. So if you're an IT provider, find myitpartner.com. We are a cyber matchmaking platform, and we seek to introduce you to your next customer. Not a lead, not a click or impression on your website, not a white paper or an email address or phone number to call, but rather someone who needs your services. We're in beta and we're figuring it out. We're having a lot of fun. So if you'd like more information, go to findmyitpartner.com. We'd love to chat. Gentlemen, this has been a sincere pleasure. Really grateful that you're here. And here's the third and final thing. If you're going to be at GTIA's ChannelCon, end of the month, last week of July, I know Blacksmith InfoSec will be there. FindMyITPartner.com will be there. A lot of cool cats will be there. We're actually hosting a partner dinner July 31st, and it's a little different. We got a party bus lined up. We got some evening shenanigans in order and doing some cool giveaways. So if you're there, come say hi to Jared and Mike. Find us at the Scofie booth, and we'd love to chat with you. Gentlemen, we're wrapping up now. Do you have anything you'd like to share with the group before we wrap up? Although I want to say, hey, Joe, we're glad that you hung out with us today. I know that we're a little late to this comment, but we're so glad that you were here, and we agree 100%. 100%. Last thoughts from Jared or Mike before we're done.
Mike.
No, it has been great being here with you. I think the only other kind of final thought would be looking at the important versus urgent matrix as you're trying to make those decisions. And if you don't know what that is, please look that up and get everything into that top right quadrant that you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Very much. Jared, any thoughts from you?
Dude, I just love hanging out with you. So I'm looking forward to seeing you in person again in a couple of weeks. But this is awesome. Happy to hang out and talk anytime.
I'm going to end the stream, and as we end the stream, there's going to be an outro video that plays with a QR code. If you want to follow us on YouTube, TikTok, X, wherever else, please feel free to follow us wherever you consume this content. We appreciate you. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, everybody.
Take care.